Trump just made an executive order to get rid of quote-unquote gender-affirming care in minors. So this is a wonderful day because yet again, in a short period of time, we have seen that Donald Trump is the most pro-life president in American history, bar none. Now this is within like 10 days. 10 days of being in office, and Donald Trump has already done many reforms that will cement his legacy as the most pro-life president in American history, because he's done this. Donald Trump has introduced immigration reform, like I just shared, is inevitably going to save lives. And he also signed an executive order releasing pro-life protesters. Now, these are people who are protesting outside of abortion clinics, practicing their First Amendment rights, and Joe Biden locked them up, some of which for years and years and years, and even putting a 76-year-old grandmother in prison for 3 years. Donald Trump released all of them, and we can praise him and God, most importantly, for that. I want to show you a clip of somebody I've spoken to in the past. I won't call her an acquaintance because I've just spoken to her about coming on the show, and I hope to bring her on for you guys in the near future. But here is a clip of Bevelyn Beatty being released after being locked up by Joe Biden for protesting outside of an abortion clinic. Here's her coming to greet her family after being in jail for months and months and months.
Look at us. I got your jacket. Let me get your jacket.
Here.
Woo!
Go, 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 go.
Now, I defy you to go through Twitter. Go on liberal progressive Twitter. Any of the fools who said that they were going to vote for Kamala Harris. And I want you to see if any of them praise that this black-skinned woman was released from jail and set free by the oppressor. I bet you'll never find any such thing simply because it has to do with protecting innocent babies. And why would a liberal or progressive want to do any such thing like that? But also, Donald Trump has banned all foreign aid for abortions. That means that Planned Parenthood is going to have to tighten the belt loops a little bit because they're going to have much less money flowing into their coffers, internationally speaking, so that we can help people get rid of their babies. He's also gone as far as to support the Hyde Amendment, which is something Joe Biden said back in the day that he did, which means that we don't use our federal dollars domestically to support abortion, and we certainly don't send it to other countries so that they can get rid of their babies. But also, in epic fashion, it didn't stop there, because Vance was marching at the March for Life, and Donald Trump created a video that spoke to this issue, and you can see it here.
Hello to everyone at the March for Life. It's a pleasure to speak to you from the beautiful Oval Office. That's where we are right now, the magnificent Oval Office. And thank you for turning out once again to show your extraordinary love and compassion for the unborn. Each year, Americans of every age, color, and background travel to our nation's capital by the tens of thousands to stand up for precious little babies who cannot stand up for themselves. I am proud to be the first president ever to have joined you in person. As you know, this annual march started 52 years ago on the first anniversary of the disastrous ruling known as Roe v. Wade. That unconstitutional decision took power away from the states and the voters, kicking off 50 years of division and anger. But thanks to your tireless work and devotion across 5 decades, that historic wrong was set right 3 years ago. I was so proud to be a participant. 6 courageous justices of the Supreme Court of the United States returned the issue to the state legislatures and to the people where it belongs. It became a vote of the people. In my second term, we will again stand proudly for families and for life. We will protect the historic gains we have made and stop the radical Democrat push for a federal right to unlimited abortion on demand up to the moment of birth and even after birth. Think of that, after birth. And some people want that. Can you believe it? We will work to offer a loving hand to new mothers and young families, and we will support adoption and foster care. We will protect women and vulnerable children. Under my leadership, a reformed Department of Justice will finally investigate the radical left attacks on churches and crisis pregnancy centers, and we will bring perpetrators to justice. We will get them to justice one way or the other. I will also end the weaponization of law enforcement against Americans of faith, and I'm releasing the Christians and pro-life activists who were persecuted by the Biden regime for praying and living out their faith. I just signed that document, and they're being released. One such American was Paula Harlow. At 75 years old, Paula was sentenced to 2 years in prison after praying outside of a clinic. That's why she was sentenced to 2 years. That's what happened under the Biden regime. In her sentencing, the judge mocked her Christian faith while her husband pleaded to be thrown in jail with his wife, fearing she would die alone behind bars. This week, it was my honor to grant a full and complete pardon to Paula and many others who were the victims of this horrific weaponization. Never again will religious persecution be allowed to happen in America. To all of the very special people marching today in this bitter cold, I know your hearts are warm and your spirits are strong, because your mission is just very, very pure, to forge a society that welcomes and protects every child as a beautiful gift from the hand of our Creator. Thank you for never losing hope and never giving up. Thank you for your tremendous support. God bless you, and God bless America.
But of course, most importantly, the order that Donald Trump just signed to ban trans surgeries in small children is a great historic event for every single American. I want to read you his tweet that talks about this historic order. He said this: "Today it was my great honor to sign an executive order banning the chemical castration and medical mutilation of innocent children in the United States of America. Our nation will no longer fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support so-called gender-affirming care, which has already ruined far too many precious lives. My order directs agencies to use every available means to cut off federal financial participation in instructions which seek to provide these barbaric medical procedures that should have never been allowed to take place." So Trump saves kids in the womb and outside of the womb from mutilation. And Biden and the Democrats, they're on the opposite side of both of those issues. So please tell me again, because I do have a memory longer than a couple of hours. Who's the Christian choice here? I'd love to ask all the gutless, weak-kneed, socially liberal Christians out there at Christianity Today. Maybe people like also David French, Phil Vischer, Ray Ortland, Curtis Chang, Russell Moore, and so many more. I'd love to ask them, who's the Christian choice again? I've noticed that they're oddly silent right now because they were oddly lying way back then.
So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely want to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.